Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the World Baseball Classic. Tonight, we are going to be bringing you what we are calling the final before the final, as it's going to feature the United States and the Dominican Republic. These two powerhouses are going at it. The Americans had finished second in their grouping, and by doing that, earned the right to play Team Canada, who won their group, and the Americans knocked off the Canadians 5-3 in the quarterfinal. Dominicans, well, for winning their group, they got the runners-up in the group that featured Japan and Korea, and that happened to be Korea. And they knocked off Korea with the run rule, 10-0 through 7 innings. And now these two are going to clash this evening as they will go head-to-head in Miami to see who is going to go on to the final on Tuesday night. The winner of this game, well, they get the winner of Venezuela-Italy. And no matter what, it's going to be an entertaining affair, whether either of these two clubs go through for the finals. Lots of storylines to be written. Well, first of all, we're going to give you the starting lineup. It is the Americans who are the visitors for this one here tonight. Leading off and playing at shortstop is number 7, Bobby Witt. Batting second at first base, wearing number 24, is Bryce Harper. Hitting third and in right field is number 99, Aaron Judge. And the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 12, Kyle Schwarber. Batting in the fifth spot and playing third base is number 11, Gunnar Henderson. Batting sixth and doing the catching is number 16, Will Smith. Batting seventh and in left field is number 3, Roman Anthony. Batting eighth and at second base is number 13, Bryce Turang. And batting ninth and in center field is number 4, Pete Crow Armstrong. And they're going to be facing Luis Severino, the former New York Yankee who now calls the Athletics of Sacramento his home. He will take to the hill tonight for the Dominicans in this one. And now your starting lineup for the Dominican Republic, as they will be the home team for tonight's game. It is going to be leading off in right field, wearing number 23, Fernando Tatis Jr. Batting second at second base is number 4, Ketel Marte. Hitting third in left field is number 22, Juan Soto. In the cleanup spot and batting and playing first base, wearing number 27, is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Batting fifth at third base is number 3, Manny Machado. Batting in the sixth spot and doing the designated hitting is number 13, Junior Caminero. Batting seventh and in center field is number 44, Julio Rodriguez. Batting in the eighth spot and doing the catching is number 28, Austin Wells. Batting ninth at shortstop, wearing number 2, is Geraldo Perdomo, and they're going to face arguably the best pitcher, right-handed pitcher on the planet, and Paul Skeens of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's going to be making his second start of the tournament. Well, there you have it, everybody. Those are your starting lineups. First pitch is a few minutes away. We got our friend Samurai Prayer in the house, as is CV Baseball Card Collector. Glad you guys can make it in. We're expecting a busy night tonight. That's going to get going in just a few minutes. We appreciate you guys for popping in. We'll be back right after this timeout.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and we know it is going to be game time in about 2 minutes. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. We'll keep you entertained tonight through the game with our little infomercials on the in-between. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. As our friend Samurai Prayer says, we know Yaku too. Absolutely, Yaku Pro specifically. Geraldo Perdomo was with the Visalia Rawhide in 1819, says our friend CB Baseball Card Collector. Well, Luis Perdomo is taken on to the mound here, and we are almost ready to get this one underway. Stepping to the plate to lead it off here is Bobby Witt Jr. So Witt Jr. to lead it off, and the first pitch of the ball game is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. We are underway at 8:09 local time. Bobby Witt, his second career appearance in the Classic. He's 5 for 17. And there's a fastball that swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 strike. Our friend Samurai Prayer said it is 9 a.m. in Japan, in Osaka. Of course, in North America, 8:10 on the East Coast, 5:10 on the West Coast. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. The count to 1-2. Americans are in their blue tops with the gray pants. Dominicans are in their traditional all-white jerseys. As 1-2 strikes here to Witt. Severino ready to go back at it. As he gets the sign from his catcher, and he rocks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and line foul. It's going to reach the seats down the right field line, and the count remains at 1-2. Defensively tonight for the Dominican, from left to right field, it is Juan Soto in left, Julio Rodriguez in center, and Fernando Tatis in right. Severino ready to go again. He rocks into the windup and delivers. Breaking ball waved at and missed, and Bobby Witt Jr. is gone for out number 1 here, and that'll bring up the first baseman and Bryce Harper. Around the horn from first to third, it is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first. Ketel Marti is at second. The shortstop is Geraldo Perdomo with Manny Machado at third. And the battery, as we mentioned, Severino and Austin Wells. So one of the books here for the Americans, and that is going to bring Bryce Harper to the plate. And the first pitch is a fastball at 100 miles an hour that misses upstairs for ball 1. 1-0 to Harper. Harper struggling in the tournament, 3 for 20. No homers and an RBI. But everything is all forgotten if he can produce here tonight. Here comes the 1-0 offering. It's a fastball swung on, and it's hammered foul into the netting down the third base line, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 strike. Harper batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Severino. Rocking into the windup. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball missing inside, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. Friend Samurai Prayer says his prediction is going to be 9-7 for the Dominican. That's quite the high-scoring game. I don't know if the scoring is going to be that high if the pitching is this good. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the third base line. The count remains at 2s now to Harper. I say that because I really believe that the pitching of Paul Skeens and certainly of Severino could keep the teams in check early on. Pitch on the way. There is a fastball swung on and missed. Harper's in the books, so back-to-back strikeouts to begin the ball game, and that's going to bring up the right fielder and Aaron Judge. Well, for Judge, he's had himself a pretty good tournament. He's been as advertised. He is 5 for 19, a couple homers and 5 RBIs. As the right-hander Severino rocks into the windup and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses way upstairs. Count is 1-0 to Judge. Judge waggling the bat. Very ominous presence at the plate here as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball at the knees taken for a called strike. And the count runs to 1-1 on Judge. Very good crowd in Miami for this one tonight. Can't barely see an empty seat except for the few behind home plate. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-2 on Judge. Our friend God is Great is in the house, and he said yesterday sucked. Yeah, well, if you're in Japan and listening, would not exactly be a fun day for those folks, but it is a Monday morning on the other side of the ocean. We welcome you guys to the next week already ahead. Here's the pitch to Judge. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And what's interesting is already the crowd is on their feet. The Dominican fans are up and they're cheering and celebrating loudly. There's a fastball swung on and it's fouled off. as it's right there at home plate off the catcher, Austin Wells, and the count remains at 2s. A lot of New York Yankee flavor all around here. The former Yankee on the mound, Yankee catcher behind the plate, and of course, one at bat. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander gets a new baseball to work with. As Severino rocks into the windup and delivers. Breaking ball misses down and away. It's now 3-2. Waiting on deck is Kyle Schwarber. I would like to think that you want to try to keep as many runners off the base paths as possible before you have to get into that meat of the order of the Americans. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's on its way. It's a fastball swung on. It's lined over the shortstop, Perdomo, into left field. And Aaron Judge is going to get the first hit of the ball game. It's a 2-out single. That is going to bring up the designated hitter in Kyle Schwarber. That ball was absolutely scorched. And that'll bring Schwarber to the plate, who's had himself a good tournament as well. Back-to-back, both Judge and Schwarber really swinging the bat. Schwarber 7 for 20, which is a .350 batting average with a homer and 3 RBIs. Judge establishes his lead over at first. A bit of a gingerly lead. There's the offering from Severino, and it's a breaking ball that comes inside and hits Schwarber right on the knee. And so now with 2 outs, everything has gone sideways here for Severino, who was cruising in the inning. So a hit batter here. Schwarber's going to make his way to first. Judge is over to second, and that's going to bring the third baseman Gunnar Henderson to the plate. We'll get a look at that one again. I thought it might have got him on the kneecap, but it just got him just above. He couldn't get out of the way. I'll tell you, that could have done some serious damage. So runners at first and second. Henderson stepping to the plate as the right-hander Severino ready to go. He looks at the runner at second and now delivers. It's a breaking ball down, and the count is 1-0 to Henderson. Taking a look at the bullpens of both of these clubs. Both of these clubs here, as I said before, the starter, in my opinion, goes to obviously Paul Skeens and the Americans, but I think the bullpen would favor the Dominicans. There's a fastball that misses outside. It's now 2-0 to Henderson. But that being said, you got to hope your starter gets a couple innings here for you early. Got to be able to get a little bit deeper into the game. So 2 on here, the 2-0 pitch on the way. It's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats down the third base line, and it's now 2-1 to Henderson. So 2 balls and a strike. The Dominicans have an absolutely loaded lineup. They could be able to hit themselves out of trouble. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to second, fielded neatly by Marte. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Henderson on a ground out 4-3. Well, the Americans with 2 out get a couple aboard. They threaten, but they don't score. There was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors. And 2 runners left. Your score as we move to the bottom of the first inning, it is USA 0 and the Dominicans coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call just a couple of moments after this timeout.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole. A little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play. But you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
That's right, everybody. That's our friend Matt Hollis. Be sure to have ace in the hole. Check him out after the ball game, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the first inning in the Dominican Republic. We'll be coming to bat as the first three to face Paul Skeens will be Fernando Tatis Jr., Ketel Marte, and Juan Soto. Dominicans, as we mentioned, coming off a 10-0 victory versus the Koreans. The Americans knocking off the Canadians 5-3 on their route to the Classic. Dominicans, as we mentioned, have themselves quite the bullpen, but more than likely you would have to think that they probably want to preserve some of that pen, at least not to burn guys out too early here in the ball game. If Severino can get them 4, I think that would be a big accomplishment. There's a fastball that misses inside to Tatis for ball 1. Count is 1-0. Tatis 7 for 16 in the tournament, a couple of homers and 11 RBIs. Batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Skeens, who kicks and delivers. There is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes even at 1-1. 94 miles an hour for the big American right-hander. He is pumping gas as he gets the sign and slowly works himself into the windup. And the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field, plenty of room and space. Moving over underneath it is Roman Anthony, and he's going to make the catch. And that's going to retire Tatis for the first out of the innings. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up Ketel Marte. Well, defensively tonight for the Americans from left to right field, it is Anthony in left, Pete Crow Armstrong in center, and in right it will be Judge. Around the horn from first to third, you've got Harper at first, Terang at second. The shortstop is Witt Jr. with Gunnar Henderson at third. And the battery of Skeens and Will Smith. There was a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1 to Marte. Will Smith, interestingly, getting the nod tonight, who has played sparingly in the tournament over Cal Raleigh. But the big dumper really hasn't been swinging the bat here in the tournament. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses outside, and the count goes even to 1-1. Really don't lose anything defensively with either of these two behind the plate. Left-handed hitting Marte, waiting on the offering from Skeens, who delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted to shallow right field, backing up is Terang. He's calling everybody off, and he's going to make the catch. So that's 2 quick outs here for the Dominican, and that's going to leave it up to the left fielder and Juan Soto. Well, for Soto, 6 for 19. He's got a couple of homers and 4 RBIs as he steps up to the plate here to face Skeens for the first time. Only 6 pitches for the American right-hander thus far. As he rocks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses way outside. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. On the flip side, his counterpart, Severino, threw 22 pitches in the first inning. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. And almost some of those were a little needless, I'd say, after the first 2 strikeouts. Surprised he went to that many more after that. Over half his pitches came after 2 out. There's a fastball swung on, grounded over to the right side. A diving play in shallow right field by Terang. Gets up and throws Soto out, and that is going to do it here for the Dominican as they go quietly in an order in the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're now through 1 complete. It is the Dominican nothing, the United States nothing. Stick around, everybody. Top of the second inning, just around the corner. We're going to be back to bring it to you right after this timeout from our good friend, Steve Rademacher.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
That's right, everybody. Be sure to check out our good friend Steve Rademacher after the game, and we'll be back in just a few with all the action. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top of the second inning, and slated to come to the bat for the United States will be Will Smith, Roman Anthony, and Bryce Terang, as Luis Severino will come back out for inning number 2. The key to this ball game here, at least in my eyes, is the Americans. Paul Skeens has to keep the Dominicans off the board early and do his part. For the United States, they've got to find a way to unlock the answer to Luis Severino here early, because the bullpen, as we mentioned, for the Dominican is tough and tougher. So if they can do that, then they've got their chance to be able to come away with a victory here. Winner of this game on Tuesday night will face the winner of tomorrow's game between Italy and the Venezuelans, as those two were an unlikely pairing for the other semifinal. They're expecting the possibility of maybe Japan and possibly, well, definitely Puerto Rico, as they were the other one, but probably anybody but Italy, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Will Smith. Second career World Baseball Classic appearance for Smith. He's 2 for 6. He's got no homers and an RBI in this tournament. He takes a fastball inside that moves him off the plate, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander against the right-hander. Severino gets the sign from Wells, who works off a 1-D. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and it's straight back behind home plate, and the count goes to 1-2 on Will Smith. Severino gets a new baseball. He goes to the rosin bag, and it's a little bit of rosin on his hands as the right-hander ready to deliver. Fastball swung on it, is lined into right field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. Over to pick it up is Tatis Jr., and he fires it back in. But a leadoff single here by Will Smith. Did a good job of staying inside the ball and taking it the other way. It was almost I don't want to say self-defense swing, but he definitely wasn't turning on that fastball from Severino. So he is aboard with a leadoff single. It's going to bring Roman Anthony to the plate. This is his first Classic appearance. Still pretty wet behind the ears when you think about it from a major league perspective, as he had broken in with the Boston Red Sox last year. 6 for 19 at the plate with a homer and 6 RBIs, and he swings at a first pitch fastball and lifts it down the left field line foul, and the count is 0-1. Anthony, originally born in West Palm Beach, Florida. He stands in at 6'3" and 200 pounds. Right-hander Severino kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it is lifted into the seats foul down the left field line, and now Severino's ahead in the count at 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Back on the airwaves again tomorrow for Italy, Venezuela. Hopefully you guys can tune in and join us for that as well. And then it'll be the finals on Tuesday night. Come one, come all. There's another fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count remains at 0-2 to Anthony. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander Severino with a new baseball. Could be the 30th pitch of the ball game to be delivered here by the right-hander, who kicks and fires. Fastball taken at the knees for a called third strike. Anthony stood there like the house by the side of the road, and he watched that one go by for out number 1. So 1 in the books here, and that is going to bring up the second baseman in Bryce Terang. I have to admit, I raised my eyebrows a little bit that Anthony was in the starting lineup. And you think about some of the players, not that they have a ton of other options. Byron Buxton really a non-entity so far here. As the first pitch, Terang is a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. Terang 7 for 15 in the tournament, no homers and 5 runs driven in. Fastball swung on, grounded to second. They go to second for 1, back to first. That's going to be an inning-ending double play. So Terang hits the ball right to the second baseman, Marti, and the double play combination of the Arizona Diamondbacks take a 6-4-3 into the dugout with them as it retires Smith as the lead and Terang as the tail. And that is going to do it for the Americans in the top of the second. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're through 1.5. It is the Dominican nothing and the Americans nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments after this timeout. Appreciate you for hanging here with us today on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give our channel in turn. We like to support Steve Rademacher. Come on back in just a few. It is going to be the Dominican coming to bat. It'll be Guerrero, Jr. Machado, and Junior Caminero when we return after this. Welcome back, everybody. Some timely defense by the Dominicans, and it is a nothing ball game here as we move ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 2. And the first pitch delivered to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Guerrero's first World Baseball Classic appearance, 7 for 14, with a couple of homers and 8 RBIs. As the right-hander Skeens delivers, there's a fastball swung on it, is grounded over to the left side, fielded on the run by Henderson, and he fires to first, and Guerrero's in the books on the ground out 5-3. So one gone. That's going to bring up Manny Machado. Well, I got to tell you, if they're going to get into the bullpen of the Americans, they're going to have to be a little bit more patient here. They are swinging the Dominicans early in the count, but they're not really ratcheting up the pitch count for Paul Skeens. That would be something to keep an eye on here in this one. Skeens in the first inning only threw 9 pitches as the right-handed hitting Machado swings at the first pitch and misses, and the count is 0-1. The Dominicans have brought the lumber with them tonight, and they have started to swing when they've been coming out of the dugout. But as of right now, nothing to show for it. Third World Baseball Classic appearance for Machado as he swings through a fastball, and the count now goes to 0-2. So some good old-fashioned hardball right there as Skeens blows it by him. Machado wearing the captain's C. On the jersey here for the Dominicans. Skeens ready to go again. Getting the sign from his catcher, Will Smith, and he rocks himself into the windup and delivers. Fastball taken on the outside corner for a called strike. Machado stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 2. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter in Junior Caminero. Well, for Caminero, he's really enjoyed himself a pretty good tournament. He is 6 for 16 with a couple of homers and 6 RBIs. Batting from the right side, and the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. Caminero steps in. This is his first World Baseball Classic appearance. Waiting on the offering from the right-hander Skeens, who rocks himself slowly into the delivery, and there's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. Count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the pitch is on the way, there is a fastball swung through and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Caminero. right-hander Skeens ready to go again. It is the Dominicans are up on the bench. They're cheering on here, and the pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on. This ball's belted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble, and this ball is gone. A home run for Junior Caminero, his third of the tournament, and he has put the Dominican out in front here with an early 1-0 lead. It was a breaking ball that was hung up in the zone, and Caminero absolutely turns on it. And we have a 1-0 lead here, and the first run goes to the Dominicans. As there a full train of celebration is on. You got the Dominican jacket. It looks like they're doing a Fernando Rodney impersonation by pointing to the sky. So 1 run on the board here, and that'll bring Julio Rodriguez to the plate. So Skeens ready to go back to work as J-Rod waits in, and the first pitch on the way. Fastball down and in. They appeal over to the first base umpire. But they say he didn't go, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to J-Rod. So early 1-0 lead here for the Dominicans. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the first base side. Count goes even to 1-1. I remember a few years ago, Aaron Judge was asked, he says that hitters don't hit, or asked about hitting in power. And he says hitters don't hit home runs, pitchers throw them. And they are the ones who supply the power. And certainly on that particular one, I'm sure would probably be true as well, as there's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2 on J-Rod. But that pitch was hung up in the zone. It looked like it was a hard, almost slider or sweeper that was left up. And to be honest, I didn't know he was going to get all of it. I thought he would. The pitch looked like it was a little bit away, but he extended his arms as there's a fastball swung on and fouled into the feet of Julio Rodriguez, and the count remains at 1-2. We never did give you the umpires for tonight's game. They have a full 6-man crew. The home plate umpire is Corey Blazer. At first base is Jamie Rehack. Dan Bellino is at second. Declan Colon is at third. Cootie Gurriers is in left, and the right field umpire is Chris Graham for tonight. I didn't know Chris was doing anything in the tournament. I'll have to go back and look at some of the games. Know Chris fairly well. Here comes the pitch. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to second, fielded by Bryce Terang. He throws to first, and that's going to be a ground out 4-3 to end the inning. And that will retire the Dominican here in their half of inning number 2. They had 1 run in the inning on 1 hit. There was no errors, and there was nobody left the board. Your score as we now go to the 3rd inning, it is a 1-0 lead for the Dominicans. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action right after this musical timeout.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top half of inning number 3, and it is a 1-0 lead here for the Dominican, as a home run off the bat of Junior Caminero has given them the 1-0 advantage. That is the 15th home run in the tournament. That is the most since Mexico in 2009, hit 14. Venezuela hit 13 in 2009 as well. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Pete Crow Armstrong. Crow Armstrong, 5 for 14 in the tournament, a couple homers and 6 RBIs. It's his first World Baseball Classic appearance, as the left-handed hitting Crow Armstrong takes a fastball outside, and the count goes even at 1-1. 32 pitches through the first 2 innings for the starter Severino, as the Dominican are guided by Albert Pujols. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball that misses upstairs, but they appeal to the third base umpire, and they say that Crow Armstrong went around, and the count goes now to 1-2. He couldn't hold up. I really like Peter Crow Armstrong. First time I saw him was last year when the Cubs were over in Asia playing, and boy, he can really get after the ball in the outfield. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul down the first baseline. Count remains at 1-2. He could get good jumps on balls, get into the gap, and go and get them. It was fun to watch. So here comes the 1-2 offering as the right-hander rocks and delivers. There's a fastball that swung on, and it's be lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. The count remains at 1-2 to Crow Armstrong. This game's got a pretty decent tempo and pace to it right now, even though we haven't had a whole lot of base runners. But both of these teams here are swinging the bats, that's for sure. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count goes to 2-2. We were commenting on Paul Skeens in his first inning, only 9 pitches, and the Dominicans are coming out. They weren't holding back, weren't worried about trying to work his count up and get a little bit deeper. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, and Pete Crow Armstrong's in the books, and by my count, that's the 4th strikeout recorded by Luis Severino here tonight in this one, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Bobby Witt Jr. Well, for Bobby Witt Jr., he is 0 for 1. Struck out his only time to the plate. 5 for 18 in the tournament. And the first pitch to Bobby Witt Jr. is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. Arguably, for me personally, one of my favorite players in the game. I'm not a Kansas City Royal fan, but I am a fan of Bobby Witt. How can you not be? He can hit, he can run, he can field. Fun to watch. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. One of the most talented players in the game. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1. Again, the right-hander Severino getting his sign, and he rocks himself into the windup and delivers. Fastball just misses down and away. It's now 3-1. Severino wasn't pleased with the call, but I have to say that pitch looked like it was outside. And not just on the K zone that you're given. The catcher received it as well. Here's the pitch, 3-1 on the way. There's a fastball swung on. This is lined into left field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. Interesting that Soto played ping pong with it. Let that ball fall in front of him. I thought he might have been able to attack it and come and get it, but regardless, Bobby Witt held to a long single, so he is aboard. That's going to bring up the first baseman in Bryce Harper. Well, you got to keep your eyes peeled here for Bobby Witt wanting to run, as he does have some wheels. He's got 3 stolen bases in the tournament. First pitch fastball that looked like a cutter, just missing inside for ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. I will say this, there's a lot of movement on Severino's pitches. I have to do a double take sometimes to see if he's throwing a pitch other than a fastball, and he's got balls that roll up at 95, 96. There's a fastball swung on, his hit down the right field line, rounding second and heading to third is Witt Jr. The throw goes into second base as he throws behind, and Harper's got himself a hustle double, and now the Americans are threatening here with runners at second and third and one gone, and it's going to bring Aaron Judge to the plate. So an instant response from the Americans here after going 1-0 down. That ball was just hit just slightly over the glove of Guerrero Jr., who leapt for it at first base. He was unable to pull it down. If he would have been able to do that, might have been able to have doubled off Bobby Witt Jr., but now runners at second and third with Judge stepping up. Got to keep the top part of the order off of the base paths in order for the big guys, when they come up, they don't have any ducks on the pond. But here comes the first offering to Judge. And it is a fastball swung on and is grounded over to the third base side. It looks like they may have ruled that a foul ball. I'll have to get a look at that one. I didn't think it hit his foot, but third baseman of the Dominican, Manny Machado, had fielded it and looked like he was ready to roll himself a double play. So no balls and one strike. With the runner at third, Harper the runner at second, Severino ready to go back to work. As the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses way upstairs, and the count goes to 1-1 on Judge. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander Severino getting the sign from Wells, works himself to the set, now delivers. There's a breaking ball down and away, and the count now goes to 2-1. Curious to figure out what maybe Albert Pujols might have up his sleeve when you start doing the if-then scenarios. If you're in a situation where you are leading, who do you bring in? If they're trailing, who do you bring in? There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 2-2 on Judge. Severino ready to go back to work. Kicks and delivers. Fastball just misses off the outside corner. It's now 3-2. One thing I haven't seen Severino throw tonight, we may be a miss on it, really haven't seen a changeup, as that was his 51st pitch of the ball game. Severino thought he rung Judge up on that pitch, but not so much. There's a slow breaking ball, waved at and missed. And Severino's going to get judged on strikes here. He's gone for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it up to Kyle Schwarber. And as Kyle Schwarber comes to the plate, we're going to have a visit to the mound here. So 52 pitches right now for Severino. Maybe you'll see if they're going to do a fuel check here on the pitcher, or if they're going to think about getting to the bullpen, or maybe talk about how they want to handle facing Schwarber, because they do have Gunnar Henderson on deck. Conference here is mainly with Machado in the infield. They don't have the pitching coach out. This will count as a mound visit. So that is over now that Severino's had his word with Machado and Austin Wells. We can get back to work. I'm curious, too. Obviously, a lot of the Dominican players, but some of the American players or American-born players playing for the Dominican, I wonder what some of their Spanish is like, if everybody is very good. Here's the first pitch delivered to Schwarber. It's a fastball at 97 that catches the outside corner. And what I mean by that is I wonder how they do the communication sometimes. If you have some of the Latin players that are maybe more, obviously, Spanish heavy, who would be doing the interpreting. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down, and the count runs even to 1-1 on Schwarber. Schwarber was hit by a pitch his first time up. There's a left-hander up in the bullpen. It's Gregory Soto, who is going to be with the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. Originally began his career with the Tigers and then went on to Philadelphia. He is the lefty up and throwing. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes to 2-2. Sorry, 2-1. But Gunnar Henderson waiting his turn on deck. So we'll have to see what the decisions that manager Pujols is going to make here. Right-hander again works himself to the belt. Checks the runner at second, now delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats behind home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Schwarber. And the crowd is back on their feet again, especially those who are the Dominican supporters. They are on their feet in numbers, cheering Severino on. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as Schwarber waits on the offering, and he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball. Take it for a called third strike. He froze him, and he strikes out the side here in the inning, despite giving up a single and a double. So Severino works out of the jam, and no runs in the inning. There were a pair of hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It is the Dominican Republic 1 and USA no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this timeout from our good friend, Steve Rademacher.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. We are skipping along to the bottom half of inning number 3. It's going to be Austin Wells, Geraldo Perdomo, and Fernando Tatis Jr. to come to bat to face Paul Skeens as he will start his 3rd inning of work. Only run of the ball game has been off the bat of Junior Caminero as he reached out and smoked a solo shot into the left field seats for a 1-0 Dominican lead here, and that is where it stands. Americans have been all over the bases. They've been threatening, certainly in the 1st and in the 3rd innings, but unable to cash any runs in so far, as they do have Severino solved. They've got 4 hits off of the big fella in the first 3. He's been able to keep them at bay. This is going to bring Austin Wells to the plate to lead it off here for the Dominican Republic. And the first pitch from Skeens is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Wells is 3 for 12 in the tournament. He's got a couple of homers and 5 RBIs. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Skeens. Skeens gets the signs from the catcher Will Smith, and he rocks himself into the windup. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and grounded foul on the first base side, and now Wells is in the hole at 0-2. The Dominican came out of the gate swinging the bats. They were up there very aggressive in the first inning, and I don't know if that's because of the excitement of the game or maybe that was what their game plan is, but the latter part of the order here has been taking some more pitches and battling Skeens. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and Wells is in the books. He's gone for out number 1. That's only Skeens' 2nd strikeout of the ball game, and that's going to bring up the shortstop in Geraldo Perdomo. Well, for Perdomo, he is 2 for 10 in the tournament. He's got no homers and an RBI, but both he and Ketel Marte are very solid up the middle. Both of the players teammates with the Arizona Ball Club, as he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike. He'd squared the bunt, but pulled back on that one and went the right hand of Corey Blazer, so no balls and 1 strike. It's Perdomo's first World Baseball Classic appearance. I think that the Diamondbacks might have went in a different direction rather than drafting Jordan Lawler. If they would have known the development of Perdomo would have been as good as it was, as they had inked him up to a long-term extension, as that fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-2. Jordan Lawler, of course, was a first-round pick and highly thought-of prospect that the Diamondbacks took a couple seasons ago. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-2. My friend CV Baseball Card Collector, who is in the house, or was in the house earlier here, he was a guy that, obviously Jordan Lawler, that they were pretty high on when they took him. And there's a breaking ball that comes in and is hit Perdomo. It looks like he's got him on the foot, on the backside foot, on the left foot. We're going to get a look at this. Is it in the ankle or where? He's going to walk it off gingerly and slowly make his way to first base. But we'll get a look at the replay of this one. It was right on the inside of the left foot. And the ball did bounce a little bit, so that might have taken the sting away. But regardless, he's going to hobble his way over to first base. That'll bring up the top of the order in Fernando Tatis Jr. Well, for Tatis Jr., he's 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to left field to begin the ball game for the DR. 7 for 17 in the tournament. Batting from the right side here against Skeens. And the pitch on the way is a fastball that comes inside and backs Tatis off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Our friend CV said Jordan might be trade bait later on. Yeah, I would think so. There's a fastball that misses up. Tatis checks his swing. Will Smith wants to see if he did go or not, but they say he didn't. It's going to run the count now to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. I often wonder what this team would look like if there were a couple of more additions for the United States. Pitch on the way, fastball misses inside. 3-0. And one of those additions would have been Kyle Tucker. How Kyle Tucker would have fit in. Tatis is leading the entire tournament with RBIs. He's got 11. The first baseman Moon from Korea, he had himself quite the tournament as well. He is up there in that stratosphere. As the pitch from Skeens is on the way, there's a fastball at the knees taken for a called strike. It's now 3-1. That was a great pitch by Skeens. That's a tough pitch as a hitter to hit. That pitch right knee high on the inside part of the plate. I know that Tatis kind of hopped back and probably would have liked to maybe seen that again or turned on that again. There's a fastball that sometimes guys will cheat on and try to pull themselves open and try to turn on it. Skeens threw over to first base and getting back easily as the runners. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Skeens ready to go back to work again. And now he kicks and he fires. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to third. They go to second for 1. Back to first. It's not going to be in time. It's going to be a fielder's choice. It's going to race Perdomo at the second for the second out. It goes 5-4 in the books. And safe on the trail side is Tatis Jr. That is going to bring up the second baseman in Ketel Marte. I don't know what the thought process that would go through the head of manager Albert Pujols, but I think that if there was a situation to run Tatis, this would be it. The starting lineup tonight for the Dominicans, they only have 3 stolen bases. Soto has 1 and Perdomo has 2. But with Ketel Marte at the plate here, he can serve just as well as a leadoff hitter the next inning. And there goes Tatis, but he shuts it down. So they had it in mind. So 1-0 to Marte. I'd like to see if they put him in motion and get him off to the races. So 1 ball and no strikes. Batting from the left side here, Marte waits, and the pitch is on the way. Fastball swung on, hammered into right field over the head of the second baseman. Rounding second and heading to third is Perdomo. The throw, it's going to be in time, and he's going to apply the tag, and that is going to retire. He's going to retire Tatis Jr. as he was on the base. So gone is Tatis Jr. That's going to go down as a putout, 9-5 for the third out of the inning. And that will do it here for the Dominicans in their half of inning number 3. Well, they had no runs in the inning. They had a hit, no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. Your score as we now move to the top of the 4th inning. It is the Dominicans 1 and the Americans no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel when we return after this timeout. Stay with us, everybody. It's our good friend, Steve.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game, really exciting, lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
It is a 1-0 lead for the Dominican. We'll give you some of our Japanese cheerleaders that we use late night. We call the NPB games. Season opener is in 12 days. Hopefully you can make it in for that. We'll be right back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. Coming to bat for the Americans in their half of the 4th inning. It's going to be Gunnar Henderson, Will Smith, and Roman Anthony, as they will be taking on Luis Severino, who will begin his 4th inning of work. Henderson 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded out to second his first time up. He's 5 for 11 in the tournament. As we had a look at the replay there, Tatis had gone first to third. It was a great throw by Judge, right on the money. I wondered if Tatis had a better secondary lead, if he would have been able to make it all the way around. He runs particularly well, but the throw was great, as that first pitch was swung on and fouled away by Henderson, and the count is 0-1. I guess you can take chances when you're up by a run. Here's the pitch. There's a cutter that is swung on and lifted foul into the seats behind home plate, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Gunnar Henderson. But the arm of Aaron Judge, what a great throw that was. It's fun to watch, the best on the best. Tatis, probably against 75% of Major League players, he probably makes it in there safely. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. Count is 1-2 to Henderson. But when the best on best are playing, it's hard to argue anybody else in the American lineup would be better than Judge in right field at this point. As the pitch on the way is a fastball lifted foul, and the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And flashing, the average fastball for Severino is 98.3 miles an hour. They say that's his fastest since a game in June a couple of years ago. Here comes the pitch on the way. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-2. I think Severino, obviously the early part of his career with the Yankees, he was awesome. And then, of course, the injuries really set him back. And with Oakland, they're getting somebody at the back end of their career who can still really, really pitch. There's a breaking ball missing outside. The count is 3-2. Imagine what he would have been like if he could have stayed healthy. So 3 balls and 2 strikes as Soto continues to throw in the bullpen, and the way it's looking is that he'll be the next man up for the Dominican. As the right-hander Severino rocks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats, and the count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Severino ready to go back to work again as the right-hander rocks and delivers. Pitch on the way, another fastball swung on, and another one lifted into the seats. And this is turning into quite the battle. 8 pitches now here to Gunnar Henderson. As number 9 will be coming up. The last 2 pitches have been at 97 on the gun. Severino ready to go again. Rocks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's belted into deep right center field. This ball's trouble. And this ball is gone. And we are tied all up at 1 as Gunnar Henderson has delivered the Americans the first run that they've scored in the ball game. It's been the dancing around here has been Severino. He has lived dangerously in the first couple innings with runners aboard and been able to get out of it, but he's not going to get out of that home run as Henderson rounds the bases with the first run here for the Americans. So we're back to where we were at the beginning of the game, all knotted up at 1s. And that is going to bring the catcher, Will Smith, to the plate. And for Smith, he has got a single in his only trip tonight. He is 3 for 7 in the tournament. Severino rocks and delivers. The first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside. It's 1-0 to Smith. And one would have to think with the amount of pitches now at 67 for Severino, he's not even going to sniff the 5th inning. But we were saying before about how far can he get here. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into left center field. Soto on his horse. And he makes a great over-the-shoulder catch at the edge of the warning track as he cruises into the wall. That's going to retire Will Smith. Well, Smith hit the ball right on the screws, but right to the glove of Juan Soto, able to run it down in left center field for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the left fielder in Roman Anthony. Well, Roman Anthony striding to the plate 0 for 1 tonight. He got called out on strikes his first time up, but that looks like it's going to do it for Severino as we're going to have a pitching change. Albert Pujols on his way to the mound. And as we said, it's going to be Gregory Soto who's been heating up. We're going to see him come in for the rest of this inning here, at least if not more. So handshakes all around for Severino as he leaves the field. But stick around, everybody. We got ourselves a pitching change. And we'll give you our good friend Steve Rademacher to keep you entertained while we take a timeout.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you going to throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
That's right, everybody. That is our friend Steve Rademacher. We'll be back in just a couple of moments after this pitching change has been finished. Welcome back, everybody. It is a 1-1 ball game as Luis Severino's day is done after 3 1/3 innings. And the first pitch from Gregory Soto is a breaking ball that misses up and in for ball one. Anthony is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his only time up. This will be the third appearance for Soto in the tournament, as he's worked in a couple of games and worked to a 1 1/3 innings as there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-0. You mentioned he signed a offseason free agent contract with the Pittsburgh Pirates. I wonder if that's sort of a parking lot spot for him, if the Pirates would look to flip him at the deadline. There's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count goes to 3-0. This would drive me crazy if you've got a left-handed pitcher who can't get left-handed hitters out, and that's what we've got here as he's fallen behind Anthony at 3-0. Pitch on the way, center cut fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 3-1. If he certainly has some all-star pedigree, he was an all-star with the Detroit Tigers. Tigers ended up flipping him to the Philadelphia Phillies. That was, I believe, in the Michael Lorenzen deal. Of course, Lorenzen pitching for Team Italy in this World Baseball Classic. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 3-2 to Anthony. Over the course of his career, he is much tougher on left-handed batters than he is on righties. That's why he's in the ball game here. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball's belted into deep right center field. This ball could be trouble. And this ball is gone. A home run. And Roman Anthony has put the Americans out in front 2-1. So a homer festival here in Miami opened up by the Dominicans with Junior Caminero, and then 2 here by the Americans in inning number 4, 1 by Gunnar Henderson and now 1 by Roman Anthony. Have them out in front with a 2-1 lead. Our friends earlier that were in the stream, our Samurai Prayer, was figuring that it was going to be a 9-7 ball game, and I said as long as these pitchers can keep it in check, I don't know if the score will get that high, but looks like they are starting to get themselves fueled up now. There's a first pitch delivered to Bryce Terang. It is swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. Terang grounded into a double play his first time up. So Roman Anthony making his statement here, the 21-year-old. An absolute blast. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and now the count goes to 0-2 on Terang. Terang's had a pretty solid tournament, 7 for 16. He's got a couple of stolen bases in here for good measure as well, as the pitch coming from Soto. Fastball at 98 misses up and in, and now it goes to 1-2. Soto, a power arm. Can run that ball upwards north of 100 sometimes. A few years ago, maybe not as much now. But still upper 90s is pretty impressive. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. A good stop there by catcher Wells. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As mentioned before, we'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow for Italy and Venezuela. Hopefully you can make it by. There's a breaking ball missing upstairs, and the count now goes full to Terang. So Terang has battled all the way back. He fell into the hole at 0-2. And now he has been able to wiggle his way back into the count here at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the payoff pitch. As Soto delivers, there is a breaking ball waved at and missed, and Terang is in the books for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to Pete Crow Armstrong. That's one thing tonight. The Americans have gone down swinging on strikes, something to keep an eye on, but it's all going to be forgotten if you take into account a victory. Americans go on to win this game. Who cares how many times you strike out if you get it done? But that's the 7th strikeout recorded by Dominican pitchers. First pitch delivered to Crow Armstrong is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. He's 0 for 1 tonight and struck out his first time up. 5 for 15 in the tournament. Left-hander Soto ready to go again. He rocks and delivers. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed. Count now runs even to 1-1. I was saying about how I was enjoying watching Pete Crow Armstrong play last year in the World Baseball Classic, or not last year, this year in the World Baseball Classic, last year in the Japan series. When the Cubs went over and were playing some of the Japanese teams, there was a chopper grounded back to the pitcher, and it's going to get through Soto. And we're going to see how they're going to score that. I think Soto is going to get charged with an error. That should have ended the inning. And with the speed of Pete Crow Armstrong, Ketel Marte had attacked the ball on the right side of the infield, and he couldn't come up with it in time to throw at Crow Armstrong. So he is going to be aboard. That's a manufactured base runner right there. Let's see if they can do it. And it looks like that it is going to be an error charge to Soto, and we're going to have a mound visit. So we'll see what transpires here. The manager, Albert Pujols, on his way out to the mound, and he gives a couple of claps, and that is going to be the end of the night for Pete Crow Armstrong. Well, that could be a turning point here. Error here with 2 gone. It's going to bring up the top of the order in Bobby Witt Jr., and they're going to have to go to their bullpen. And we'll be back in just a couple of moments as we have ourselves another pitching change, and it is a 2-1 ball game now for the Dominicans. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action, but the pitching parade has now started in this one tonight. Stay with us.
Hello, everybody. Steve Rademacher coming back at you again. And during this pitching change, for a change of pace, let's open some baseball cards. We'll get through these quickly. 2023 Topps Big League. We have rookie card of Tyler Freeman to go along with a Matt Chapman. And why not a Jake Cronenworth? Shoot 'em, Jake! We do have a rookie card of Brett Beatty. That's pretty cool. To go along with the uncommon Carlos Correa. Pretty common to me, but what do I know? Trey Mancini to go along with a rookie of Kodai Senga. Freddie, tell them about Kodai. And one of my favorites, Devin Williams of my Milwaukee Brewers. All right, looks like the pitcher's coming in. Freddie, you can take over now.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we like to support Steve Rademacher. Be sure to go check him out on his channel, Steve Rademacher, for all your entertaining needs. Well, there is a pitching change as the Dominicans are going to the bullpen. It is going to be Juan Mejia, who's coming in to replace Gregory Soto. He will be the third pitcher used tonight by the Dominicans, and the third pitcher of the inning, as he is going to be slated to face Bobby Witt Jr. So Mejia is making his third appearance. He's worked a couple innings. He's allowed 1 hit. He has yet to allow a run. So he is ready to get going here. And the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Bobby Witt Jr. I was saying earlier, this is the third plate appearance tonight for Witt Jr., and saying that he is one of the more fun players to watch in all of baseball for me these days. Probably my favorite player. There's a fastball that misses outside. The ability to hit for average, have some pop in the stick, and to be able to run. We're watching a generational talent in front of us right now. What I want to see is how many years he can be able to keep that together. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. For those of you who are new to the channel, we do late night Japanese games, and so the season gets going in a couple of weeks. We've been doing some of the exhibition games already, so hopefully you guys can come on in and check it out. As that fastball misses outside, the count goes to 2-2. If you like Japanese baseball, or if you're just up late night and you want your baseball craving, we can give it to you as much as you like. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bobby Witt Jr. As the right-hander Mejia ready to go again. Kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Mejia has struck out Witt to end the inning here, and that is going to do it here in the 4th. 2 runs in the inning on 2 solo shots, one by Gunnar Henderson and the other by Roman Anthony. There were 2 hits, there was an error, and there was a runner left aboard. Your scores, we're moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is the United States with a 2-1 lead over the Dominicans. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action in just a few after this timeout.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred with Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and we know that it is a 2-1 USA lead as we move to the bottom of the fourth inning. Stick around. We'll be back with all the action right after this. We got a score line of 2-1 for the USA over the Dominican Republic as we are moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 4. It's going to be Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero, and Manny Machado to come to bat as they will be facing Paul Skeens, who will be on for his fourth inning of work. Only 38 pitches for Skeens, and I said that was going to be one of the keys to success tonight is how long Skeens can give the Americans, how long he can stay in the ball game, and if the Dominican bullpen can keep everybody in check. Well, it is a 2-1 ball game. Severino pitched really well. He went 3. His final line was 3 in the third innings. He did allow the home run to Henderson. He was able to escape some of the jams as he did give up 5 hits in the time of work. There is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Soto. And also impressive work for Severino as he was able to strike out 6 American hitters in that 3 and the third innings. There's a fastball that misses inside. The count goes to 2-0 on Soto. So 2 balls and no strikes. Skeens ready to go again. Here's the pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. Coming in hard and diving to make the catch is Aaron Judge. And that is going to retire Soto for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the first baseman in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Well, for Guerrero Jr., he is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded out to third his first time up. So Guerrero steps in. Skeens ready to go. He rocks himself into the windup and kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Aaron Judge doing it all tonight, making a defensive catch, throwing out a runner. He hasn't checked in yet on the hit category, but he'll be up second in the next inning. He does have a single tonight. Nothing in terms of driving in a run or putting one into the seats. He has left that to Gunnar Henderson and Roman Anthony so far. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Skeens delivers. Fastball swung on, grounded over to third, and it's just going to go past the bag, foul. That's going to run the count to a ball and 2 strikes. So Skeens gets a new baseball. He's going to rub it up and ready to go back at it again here. As the right-hander rocks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball's lined into left field. That's going to get all the way to the wall. Anthony goes in to pick it up, and cruising into second with a stand-up double is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So with 1 out, the Dominicans now have a runner in scoring position, and that's going to bring up the third baseman in Manny Machado. Well, for Machado, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out looking his first time up. 5 for 17 in the tournament. As he strides to the plate here to face the right-hander Skeens for the second time. So the right-hander works himself to the belt. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1 to Machado. In the bottom half of the fourth inning here, between the Americans and Dominicans, it is a 2-1 USA lead. Skeens working to the set position. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Machado. As he kicks and fires, there's a fastball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count now at 0-2. Winner of this game goes to the final on Tuesday. The loser, well, their tournament is over. As Machado waits on the offering here from the right-hander Skeens. Here's the pitch. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to short. Diving play by the shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr., to knock it down. It squirts into center field. He retrieves it. So Manny Machado is going to get himself a base hit, but Vladdy Guerrero did not advance to third on that. He couldn't take the risk as that ball had squirted away from Bobby Witt Jr. Ball was absolutely scorched, and probably him diving and knocking it down may have, and I say may have, saved the run. I'm not sure if they would have been able to score Guerrero from second base, but they have now runners at first and second with one gone. That's going to bring the star of the game up so far for the Dominicans at the plate, and that's Junior Caminero. Caminero has produced the only run for the Dominicans. He's 1 for 1. It was a solo home run back in the second inning. So here comes the first offering from Skeens. And he pitch on the way. Fastball, I'll take it for a called strike. Oh, I think he was fortunate there with Skeens. Will Smith had bounced to set up inside. He missed his spot. Location-wise, it was about the same spot that Caminero had pulled a home run into the seats. He took a pitch that was more middle and away and hook-barreled it in that last home run. Fastball misses down. Count is 1-1 now to Caminero. But the pitch was a little bit lower, that first pitch to Caminero in this at-bat. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded to short. They go to second for one. No, he dropped the ball. They say that it was on the exchange. Manny Machado doesn't think so. I think they're going to review this one because Pujols wants to have a look at this. I don't think it was on the exchange. The second base umpire was shielded because Bryce Terang's back was to him. What do we have here? Well, no, maybe they're not going to challenge. That's all it's going to be. So Pujols, I'll get a look at the replay. I want to see it from another angle. That was a double play potentially for two. Boy, that's a pretty quick. I don't know. He had enough control on that one. Regardless, it's going to be a fielder's choice. It erases Machado at second, 6-4. He's gone for the second out. It's going to bring Julio Rodriguez to the plate with runners on the corners. So they're not out of the threat yet, are the Americans. And the first pitch coming here to J-Rod, fastball that's taken for a strike. I'm not sure if that was, it looked like it was a called strike by Corey Blazer, the way that he went up with the right hand. So 0-1 it is to the center fielder of the Seattle Mariners. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball comes inside and backs Rodriguez off the plate, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander against the right-hander as Skeens waits at the belt. And now the pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and chopped foul over on the third base side. Count is now at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Runner at third, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Runner at first, Caminero. As Skeens trying to get himself out of this jam, and now time has been called at the plate as Julio Rodriguez has asked for some time. And we'll do this all over again here. So now we're reset, ready to go. J-Rod steps in, and right-hander Skeens holds at the belt. Here comes the pitch. On its way. Fastball comes inside, and it hits J-Rod. Looks like it got him on the forearm or on the wrist, and he's not a happy camper. And it looks like it might have got him on the top hand. Manager Pujols is coming out to examine, so J-Rod gets hit. It's the second Dominican batter to be hit by a pitch in this one. Perdomo was hit on the foot in the last inning. So they're going to examine J-Rod here. We'll get a look at it on the replay. Well, I think he was fortunate where he got hit. I don't think it's going to be broken. I think it's going to be in quite a bit of pain. That's my guess. I'm not a doctor, and I don't know that for fact, but boy, upper 90-mile-an-hour fastball up and inside. He couldn't hold his hands back. They still have the trainer looking at him, and J-Rod's going to go and run. I bet you that he goes out, he'll run the bases, then they'll re-examine him in between innings to see if there's any swelling or not and how it responds. So he is aboard at first base. So the bases are full of Dominicans, and it's going to bring Austin Wells to the plate. Guerrero Jr., the runner at third. Caminero is at second, and at first is Julio Rodriguez. Seattle Mariner fans probably collectively held their breath as J-Rod was hit by that pitch. Can you imagine going into the season without your star center fielder? Here's the pitch. First one, fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. The count is quickly 0-1 to Wells. Wells 0 for 1 tonight, struck out his first time up, 3 for 13 in the tournament. So the right-hander Skeens holds, now delivers. Fastball misses up and in, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander Skeens works himself to the belt, now delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's scorched down the right field line, but foul. So the count now 1-2 on Wells. Two of his 3 hits in the tournament have gone for home runs, has Wells. So here comes the offering, and now he's asked for time at the plate. As he steps out, he's going to adjust his helmet, and we're going to go back to the work again here as Skeens is ready to go again. So here comes the 1-2 offering as he holds to the set. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on and another one lifted foul. And the count remains at 1-2. So a battle setting up here with Wells. Our Filipino friend in the house tonight, he says hopefully Julio will fully heal before the regular season begins. Yeah, he hasn't left the game, but I'd be curious to see how this is going to work out. That's going to be tough. That's right on the inside part of the top hand. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field, but he just got under it. Camping out underneath it is Anthony, and he's going to make the grab. And Wells is going to be retired for the third out. That's going to do it here. No runs in the inning, 2 hits, no errors, and there was 3 runners left aboard. We are now through 4 complete. Your score is the United States 2 and the Dominicans 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in a few with all the action right after this timeout. Appreciate you for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We appreciate you guys for listening in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Our friend CV says, can you believe that there's no TV game for U.S. Dominican Republic, where he lives in Southern California? A bunch of football folios, I guess. Yeah, I was a little surprised. I understood it was in the States on FS1. I got to tell you, I'm not so sure. I didn't really like the way that they had called that double play. I know on the exchange, but you got to have at least secured for a moment, or it looked like it's secured. There's a first pitch fastball delivered by Mejia. It is swung on by Harper. He pops it up into shallow left field. Underneath it is Soto, and he's going to make the catch, and that's going to retire Harper for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the right fielder and Aaron Judge. So one pitch and one away here to start the fifth. We'll get a look at that replay again. I don't even know if Terang even had it. I mean, it was worth a look. He got two opportunities to do that. I would have at least challenged it. You lose one, you still got one in the bank. Turning point, how many more times are you going to have a potential for the bases to be loaded? Here comes the offering from Mejia. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field. Center field, this ball is deep. Going back is J-Rod, and he leaps and makes the catch, and he's going to take a home run away from Aaron Judge. Julio Rodriguez leaps right at the wall and pulls it back, and the Dominicans are celebrating like they've won the World Series, or at least kept them in the possibility of winning this tournament. But what a catch by J-Rod, right up against the wall, and he brings back a home run from Aaron Judge. We'll get a look at the replay again. That ball was coming down, and he leapt right at just to the left of the 400 mark to pull it away. That's going to go on to a Tops Now card, you'd have to think. So two quick outs here in the inning, and there's a breaking ball swung on and missed by Kyle Schwarber, and the count is 0-1. So two pitches and two quick outs here in the inning. United States up there swinging. Our friend CV says we're the only ones calling. Well, that's pretty sad when here you are, not even in the United States. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and being able to give you guys all the reports about your own team. So no balls and two strikes it is. That's completely unfortunate, but it's at least in my books. So no balls and two strikes to Schwarber as the right-hander Mejia works to the set. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball down in the dirt, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes, but we're glad we could do it. Wish we had a bigger crowd in here tonight, though, but I find it kind of funny that our short video that we put up has collected just a ton, not of views, but of subscribers. It's been crazy sitting watching it ratch up. Just wish some of the folks had come in here and parked beside us and have a listen. Fastball swung on and lifted into the seats over on the third base side, and the count 1-2 to Schwarber. Two-1 for the USA over the Dominicans. We are here in the top half of inning number 5. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle past the diving second baseman Ketel Marte, and Schwarber is aboard for the second time tonight. But he's got his first base hit, and that is going to bring up the third baseman in Gunnar Henderson. And it's been a pretty entertaining ball game so far. Friend CV said, just shared out our link. Yeah, hopefully we get a couple other folks in SoCal come and listen too. Tell them Machado and Tatis are playing in San Diego, and that Will Smith is getting an opportunity to play as well. That's going to bring the manager Pujols out, and that's going to be the end of the night for Mejia. Well, Mejia has done his job, came in and did fairly well here, as his night is going to be over. He pitched to 4 batters. He retired 3 of the 4 that he faced, and now they're going to turn the ball over to the bullpen yet again. Gunnar Henderson coming to hit. We're going to take a timeout. We'll stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Steve Rademacher will keep you entertained.
Hello, everybody. Steve Rademacher coming back at you again. And during this pitching change, for a change of pace, let's open some baseball cards. We'll get through these quickly. 2023 Topps Big League. We have rookie card of Tyler Freeman to go along with a Matt Chapman. And why not a Jake Cronenworth? Shoot 'em, Jake! We do have a rookie card of Brett Beatty. That's pretty cool. To go along with the uncommon Carlos Correa. Pretty common to me, but what do I know? Trey Mancini to go along with a rookie of Kodai Senga. Freddie, tell them about Kodai. And one of my favorites, Devin Williams of my Milwaukee Brewers. All right, looks like the pitcher's coming in. Freddie, you can take over now.
Appreciate you there, Steve. As the Dominicans are going to their bullpen, it is going to be a right-handed pitcher, and that is going to be Huascar Brazoban coming on in relief. 6'3", 155 pounds is what they list him as he is going to be the 4th pitcher used by the Dominicans in this one. So Huascar Brazoban coming on in relief, as he will be slated to have to face Gunnar Henderson. Well, just looking at Brazoban, as he has 36 years old, and currently he is in the New York Mets organization. He's in spring training with the Mets. He pitched for them last year. He also spent time with the Miami Marlins organization as well. Broke in the big leagues in 2022 with the Marlins, as he steps off the backside and he has to go to the Rosenbag. So interesting move that they took Mejia out and brought in the right-hander here. They wonder if they had something on the books. There's a fastball that misses upstairs and the count is 1-0. I would have thought that they would have let Mejia at least finish the inning, or try to finish the inning. It's the 3rd appearance for Brazoban in the Classic, and there was a fastball swung on, grounded softly to first. Positioned nicely as Vladdy Guerrero. He fields it, he makes the play, and that is going to do it. Henderson ground out to 3 for the 3rd out of the inning, and that's going to do it here for the USA in inning number 5. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. This game is halfway in the books. Your score is the United States 2 and the Dominicans 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call. Bottom of the 5th inning is just around the corner after this. We got to go refresh our beverage so we can keep bringing it to you. I'm going to give you the Chiba drums from Japan. Hang tight, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. Paul Skeens in for yet another inning of work, and he is facing Geraldo Perdomo, and the first two pitches were swung on and fouled away, and it's 0-2 here to Perdomo. Perdomo was hit by a pitch in his only plate appearance so far in this one. That was in the third inning. 2 for 10 in the tournament. The Fernando Tatis and Ketel Marte to follow here in the bottom of the fifth. As the pitch from Skeens on the way, fastball swung on it is going to be lifted into shallow left center field. Coming in underneath it is Roman Anthony, and he's there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Perdomo for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. I'll bring up the top of the order in Fernando Tatis Jr. Well, for Tatis Jr., he is 0 for 2. He has flown to left and bounced into a fielder's choice. As the right-hander ready to go, he slowly works himself into the windup. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0 to Tatis Jr. Tatis Jr. is officially 0 for 2. He's bounced into a fielder's choice, and he has flown to left in his 2 trips to the plate. Skeens ready to go again. He rocks himself into the windup and delivers. Fastball swung on it is going to be line foul down the left field line, just out of the reach of the third baseman Henderson. Count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Say that Paul Skeens is the 5th youngest pitcher to win the Cy Young Award, and the 3rd Pirate to win the Cy Young Award as well. I guess my trivia question that I don't have an answer to are, who are the other 2 Pirates to win the Cy Young Award? I guess we're going to have to go back. Did Doug Drabek win one? That would have been one of my guesses. Fastball swung on and it's chopped over down the third baseline, and Henderson went to go to field it, and then he lets it go foul. It was Tatis who was really slow getting out of the batter's box, and then Henderson decided, hey, am I going to make the play on it? And then right at the last moment, he did the alligator arms because Tatis ended up taking off. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. I don't think even if he would have touched it, it would have been a foul ball in that situation. The ball had so much English on it. It had spun toward the third base coach's box. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. Skeens on 66 pitches, kicks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on, popped up. It's going to be foul behind home plate. The count now still remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. They can take Skeens to 95 pitches if they have to. There's a ball chopped on, barehanded by Henderson. He throws, and it's just offline. Harper's not going to be able to get it. He takes him off the base. And reaching safely is the speedy Tatis. I'm going to see how they're going to score it. I think it's going to be a single myself. And that's exactly what the official scorer says. It's going to be a base hit here for Tatis. They had to hurry to get him. Where he was playing, he was almost heels to the grass, was Henderson. It was just a chopper there that was pounded into the ground. Got to give Tatis credit. He came hard out of the box all the way down the line at first base. So Tatis is aboard, and that is going to bring Ketel Marte to the plate. The first pitch to Marte is swung on for strike 1, and the count is 0-1. Marte has a single in 2 trips. He is 4 for 17 in the tournament. As the right-hander Skeens delivers, there's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count now runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander Skeens works to the belt, and the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, lined into left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Pete Crow Armstrong over to pick it up, and he fires it in. Stopping at second is going to be Tatis. And want to challenge the Crow Armstrong there, and that'll bring up the left fielder in Juan Soto. He already challenged the arm of Aaron Judge earlier. That didn't go so well. But now runners at first and second, and it's going to bring the big part of the order up here for the Dominicans. Juan Soto coming to the plate. Interesting, Tatis had to freeze on that because Bobby Witt Jr. had walked the ladder, trying to bring that one down, and then he wasn't able to do it. Well, that looks like we're going to have, is this going to be the end of the night? It is, as Paul Skeens' night is going to be over. The manager, Mark DeRosa, has come onto the hill to take the ball from his right-hander, and we're going to have a pitching change. So Paul Skeens leaves this ball game with 2 aboard and 1 out here in the 5th inning. Soto and Vladdy Guerrero to come to bat here, and that is the end of the night for Paul Skeens. Well, we'll be back in a couple minutes after this pitching change is over, so let's see what the Americans do as they come to the bullpen. It is a 2-1 Dominican lead. Dominicans are threatening. We'll be back in just a few.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. It's going to be Tyler Rogers coming on in relief. Stick around. We'll be back with all the action in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. Tyler Rogers on the mound here as he does a inside spaghetti move, forces the runner back at second base. So the big fella here, 81 games with the Giants and the Mets last year. He had a 4-6 record. He has this is his first World Baseball Classic experience, and the first pitch from the sidewinder misses down and away to Soto. 1 ball and no strikes. So they bring in the trick baller, so to speak. I don't want to call it trick baller, but the sidewinder. So 1 ball and no strikes. Big fella here, ready to go again. Checks the runner at second, now delivers. Fastball swung on, chopped up the middle, fielded by Witt. He steps on the bag at second. They throw to first, and that's going to be a double play. It's going to be 6-3 as Marte has gone for the first out at second. And on the trail side, it is Soto back on the back end, and that is going to do it here. As Rogers gets what he wants, a ground ball that induces a double play. Well, who am I laughing at here? As Rogers and his sidewind stuff does the job. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're now officially through 5 complete. It is the United States with a 2-1 lead over the Dominicans, and it's now a battle of the bullpen from here on out. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action right after this on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Thanks for hanging out with us here tonight.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
That's right, Matt. We appreciate your support of the channel. Check out Matt Hollis after the game. It is going to be the top of the sixth inning. Gunnar Henderson, Will Smith, and Roman Anthony to come to bat. And we will be back in just a couple of moments with all the action for you here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. Huascar Brazaban back on the mound here for the Dominicans facing Will Smith. And the first pitch that was delivered to Smith was taken for a ball, and then the second pitch was taken for a called strike. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike to the catcher of the Americans. He's 1 for 2 tonight. As there's a fastball that misses upstairs. It's now 2-1. Smith in the tournament 3 for 8. Single and a fly out to left in his 2 trips in this one. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and it's hammered foul into the netting just past the third base dugout. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Difference in this game has been the home run by Roman Anthony. He followed that up with the home run by Gunnar Henderson. As it is a 2-1 USA lead. Dominicans got their run on a homer by Junior Caminero. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Will Smith just overmatched there by Brazaban. He's in the books for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the left fielder in Roman Anthony. Well, for Anthony, he welcomed the reliever Gregory Soto into the game by hitting a solo shot off of him back in the 4th inning. That gave the Dominicans or the Americans a 2-1 lead. As there's a fastball that misses up and away. It's 2-1. And there is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now runs even to 1-1 on Anthony. Anthony 1 for 2 tonight, struck out looking his first time up and homered in his second at bat. As the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and missed. Count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Boston Red Sox outfielder who's getting the start in left field tonight. Wasn't sure who was going to get the start. Obviously, Cal Raleigh moved out from behind the plate for Will Smith, and now there's a fastball taken on the inside corner for a called third strike. Oh, that had a lot of backdoor run on it. And Anthony is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. So back-to-back strikeouts here by Brazaban. That's going to bring up Bryce Terang. Well, if he could pitch like this for the New York Mets out of their bullpen, I often wonder with all the moves that the Mets have made this year, how they're going to look and how they're going to feel. He being back in the Mets uniform for the second year. Now time has been called as Austin Wells is going to go up to the mound. He wants to talk it over with the pitcher here. They got to get on the same page. Certainly, if he could pitch like this for the Mets, it solves a lot of issues, a lot of problems. So Bryce Terang coming to the plate, 0 for 2 in this one. He has grounded into a double play, and he has struck out in his 2 trips. When Bryce Trang got to the big leagues, I didn't think he was going to be, well, I thought he was going to be a good player. I just didn't think he was going to pass some of the other players that were considered prospects in the organization for the Brewers. I think he's ahead of Sal Frelick. I also think that he's obviously Garrett Mitchell, who are outfielders. He's passed them as well. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. I think they had a little bit more hype under their collar than this fella did. But Trang is turning into a really fine ball player. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. Now the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Dominican fans back on their feet again as they have been striking out the Americans quite a bit here tonight. And there is a fastball swung on and missed, and Brazaban fist pumps the air. And that is going to retire Bryce Terang. And by my count, that is the 10th strikeout of the night. The Americans have gone down on, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I've got my numbers right on this one. That is no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board as Brazaban strikes out the side here in the 6th. We're going to the bottom of the 6th inning. Coming to bat will be the heart of the order. It'll be Guerrero, Machado, and Caminero when we return in just a few. 2-1 is the score. Bottom of the 6th, just around the corner. We're going to give you some of the sounds from the NPB and what it's like to hear their crowd. We won't be hearing any of their stuff at all left in this tournament. We'll be back in just a few. Your score as we move to the bottom half of inning number 6, 2-1 for the USA. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action after this. Stay with us, everybody. Glad to have you with us tonight. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 6, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. steps to the plate. Yeah, the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down. It is Griffin Jacks in the ball game, as he is going to be the third pitcher used by the Americans in this one. It's his 3rd appearance of the tournament. So Jacks on in relief as the right-hander delivers. There's a fastball center cut for a called strike. Count goes even to 1-1. It's more of a cutter, that last pitch. It was 89 miles an hour, had a little bit of right to left movement on it. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch on the way. There's a fastball taken for a called strike at the knees. That was at 97. That had a little bit of arm side run. So Vladdy Guerrero Jr. just wanted to have a peek, it looks like, there, and figure out what he's seeing. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As the right-hander ready to deliver again, there's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into deep right center field. Moving back onto the warning track, but having to adjust to make the catch is Pete Crow Armstrong, and that's going to retire Guerrero Jr. for the first out of the inning. So one gone here. And that is going to bring up Manny Machado to the plate. Well, for Machado, he is a 1 for 2 in this one. He's got a single and he struck out looking. Batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Jacks. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses inside for ball, and it's 1-0 to Machado. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander against the right-hander as Jacks delivers. There's a fastball swung on, is grounded deep into the 6 hole. Sliding. What a play by Bobby Witt Jr. He slides on his knees, backhands it, gets to his feet, and throws a bullet across the infield. And that's going to retire Machado. Machado must now know what it feels like when he does it to other people. That was a Manny Machado-like play on the left side of the infield to be able to take away a hit from the Dominican Stars. So ground out 5-3. And that is the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to Junior Caminero. Well, Caminero coming to the plate. He is officially 1 for 2. He's homered in 2 trips. And there's a fastball swung on it, is lined into center field. Pete Crow Armstrong coming in. He makes the catch. And that is going to do it, as that's going to retire Caminero for the third out of the inning. Well, they had no runs in the inning. There were no hits. There were no errors and nobody left aboard. 2/3 of the game is in the books. It is a 2-1 USA lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 7th inning. It'll be Crow Armstrong, Witt Jr., and Harper to bat when we return in just a bit. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us. That's right, everybody. We got a 2-1 USA lead. We're going to give you some of our Japanese cheerleaders as we do late night Japanese baseball. Come check it out when you get a chance. Hang tight. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 7th inning. It'll be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to bat for Team USA. That means Pete Crow Armstrong, Bobby Witt Jr., and Bryce Harper to come to bat here for the Americans, as they will be facing a relief pitcher. It's going to be Abner Uribe, who is coming in, the Milwaukee hard-throwing right-hander from the Milwaukee Brewers. We'll take over here. Got to say that the Dominicans just have a pile of arms that come out throwing hard. It's hard and harder, that is for sure. So he is going to be facing the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the batting order. That would be Pete Crow Armstrong, Bobby Witt Jr., and Bryce Harper. So Uribe taking over here in the top of inning number 7. World Baseball Classic scoreline here is 2-1 for the USA. It's been a homer festival and a strikeout festival here tonight. So Uribe, who is making his 3rd appearance, he's got 1 inning under his belt. And the first pitch on the way to Crow Armstrong. Ooh, that's a fastball. That's nasty at 97. Count is quickly 0-1. That pitch had a lot of backdoor run on it. So no balls and 1 strike. Pete Crow Armstrong is officially 0 for 2 tonight. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into straightaway center field. Backing up underneath it, and there to make the catch is J-Rod, and that's going to retire Crow Armstrong for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the shortstop and Bobby Witt Jr. So Bobby Witt Jr. coming to the plate, 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out twice. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Bobby Witt Jr. Right-hander Uribe working from the stretch. Nobody's on, but kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball swung on. That's going to be lifted foul into the seats. The count now goes to 0-2. He is tall and he is thin. He's not the biggest of guys, is Uribe, but he can really bring it up there. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Bobby Witt Jr. He's down on strikes for the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up the first baseman and Bryce Harper. Just looking at the strikeout count for the Dominican pitchers tonight, and if my math is correct, that would be the 11th in the books via the strikeout. I just have to double check that over, but 11 American strikeouts. Not enough balls put in play, and this has been the big piece that has been talked about by a lot of people, that unfortunately that the game has become a home run strikeout festival. It's actually 12 strikeouts for Uribe, or for the Dominicans. That was strikeout 12. First pitch to Harper, taken for a strike, count is 0-1. Uribe delivers again. There's a breaking ball that bounces up to the plate, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Looking at that Dominican bullpen and what they would have left to come off the bench, and they got a pile of guys. They got Albert Abreu. Looks like they got Sir Anthony Dominguez, Camilo Doval, Estevez, Wandy Peralta. Fastball misses down and in, and the count now goes to 2-1. I would assume Alvarado would be one is used as well. So they've got a stable of arms that throw, or that can bring it up over 100 miles an hour, and also Santana. Fastball swung on, grounded off the pitcher, up the middle, fielded by the second baseman Marte. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Harper. That's going to go in the books as a ground out, 1-4-3. And that is going to do it, as he has gone for the third out of the inning. So they go in order, and that's now 7 in a row retired by the Dominican pitchers. You got no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. As we move now to the bottom of the 7th inning, your score is USA 2, Dominican 1. Stay with us, everybody. We're going to give you our version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Japanese style. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 7, as it is going to be David Bednar on the mound now for the United States as he's coming on in relief as he takes over for Griffin Jacks. The first pitch delivered to Julio Rodriguez is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So Bednar here, 3 games, 3 innings so far, has pitched very well for the Americans. Fastball swung on, and that's fouled away, and the count quickly 0-2 now to J-Rod. So no balls and 2 strikes. Bottom third of the batting order here for the Dominicans. He'll be followed by Wells and Perdomo. As we are starting to get into this back end of the ball game, the Dominicans down by a runner, or down by 1 run, are starting to run out of outs here. As the pitch ready to come here to J-Rod. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into shallow left field. Moving back on it is Bobby Witt Jr., and he's going to make an over-the-shoulder catch. That's going to retire J-Rod for the first out of the inning. It'll bring up the catcher in Austin Wells. So for Wells, he is 0 for 2. He has struck out and flown out to left field in his 2 trips. He is 3 for 14 in the series, or in the tournament, I should say. Now the pitch is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field. On his horse is Judge, and it's going to get over his head all the way to the wall. Rounding first and heading into second is Wells, and he's got himself a 1-out stand-up double. And he is into scoring position, and that is going to bring Geraldo Perdomo to the plate. So the Dominican catcher getting the job done. That is going to bring to the dish Perdomo. Perdomo officially 0 for 1 tonight. He had flown out to left field, and he was also hit by a pitch. So big time celebration there for Austin Wells. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Perdomo. So they got a couple of cracks with the runner in scoring position to try to get him home. As the right-hander Bednar holds to the set, now delivers. Fastball at the knees, taken for a called strike. I think that would be, if we were applying the Major League Baseball spring training rules, I think the ABS and the umpire would be called into question on that pitch. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the order, Fernando Tatis Jr. waiting on deck. As Bednar kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on it. It's popped up over on the third base side, but it's going to drift into the seats. Gunnar Henderson's just going to have to watch it sail. The count now goes to 1-2 on Perdomo. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bednar gets another baseball, and he's ready to go back to work. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball missing upstairs, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Curious to see how DeRosa is going to use the back end of the pen. It is getting, as we said, deeper in the ballgame. There's a fastball swung on. This is lined into left center field. It's down for a base hit. Crow Armstrong fields it, and they're going to throw on the brakes. Oh, boy, I think they might have wanted a redo on that one. Stopping at third as well. As I know he's the catcher. I know he doesn't run particularly well, but the throw was offline. It was up the first baseline. But Perdomo's got a single. Wells is over at third. It is going to bring Tatis Jr. up to the plate. Maybe Carlos Fablis, who's the third base coach, wanted to have a redo on that one. The crowd, in a lot of ways, a pro-Dominican crowd down in Miami. Lots of Dominican fans in attendance, voicing their support. So runners at the corners here, and it's going to bring up the top of the order in Fernando Tatis. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He singled, he's bounced into a fielder's choice, and he's flown out to left, and he swings through a first pitch fastball. Count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Dominican fans back on their feet again. They sense something here with the runners on the corners and only 1 gone. Wells at third, Perdomo at first. Pitch comes inside and backs Tatis off the plate. The count goes now even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander Bednar working to the set. They have a hole over on the right side of the infield. You could drive a transport through, and there he swings at a breaking ball, and Perdomo is going to take second base. So a stolen base for Perdomo, and it's now 1-2 to Tatis. So now that changes the dynamic again. A base hit here could put the Dominicans in the lead. Perdomo had that one easy steal. And now the Americans have brought the infield in. Everybody's on the grass except for Henderson. He's about 2 or 3 steps off the grass. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. And Tatis is in the books. He's gone for the second out of the inning. Both the last 2 pitches that he swung at were, I think, below the knees, low in the zone. Good pitches by Bednar. That is 2 out. Now it's going to leave it up to the second baseman in Ketel Marte. Well, for Marte, he is one of the more dangerous hitters in the lineup. He was 3 for 15 entering the ball game tonight. He's got 2 hits and 3 trips. He's now 5 for 18 in the tournament. And he swings at the first pitch and lifts that one foul down the left field line, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Bednar. Dominican fans wanting to talk the runs into existence. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Bednar dialing it up. That was at 97 on the gun, so no balls and 2 strikes. Team USA looking to finish off the inning here. Bednar working to the set. Here's the pitch. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on and lifted foul right behind home plate, and the count remains at 0-2. If you just joined us, it's been all the runs have come on solo shots. Caminero with 1 in the second inning and 2 solo shots in the fourth. 1 by Henderson and 1 by Anthony, and that's where the score is 2-1 USA. Here's the 0-2 to Marte. It's a fastball that misses way upstairs, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bednar again leans in, gets the sign from his catcher, Will Smith, and now time has been called. As Marte has asked for time, and he's going to step out of the box. We're going to do this all over again. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander ready to go. He holds to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. Breaking ball, waved that and missed. Marte's in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Dominicans in their half of the 7th. No runs in the inning, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left aboard. They threaten, but they don't score. We're moving to the top of the 8th inning. It is the USA with a 2-1 lead. Stick around, everybody. It'll be coming to bat Judge, Schwarber, and Henderson when we return in just a few. Appreciate you for listening on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a little bit. Your score is the USA 2, Dominican 1 as we move to the bottom of, moving to the top of the 8th inning. We'll be back in just a few after this.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play. But you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
That's right, everybody. That is our friend Matt Hollis. Be sure to check him out after the ball game. He's got all kinds of stuff on his channel, although he has been a little dormant lately, as he does do his teaching gig in the days. He's a little bit more active in the summertime. Well, it is going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat for Team USA in their half of the 8th inning. It'll be Judge, Schwarber, and Henderson, as we anticipate that are going to be going to the bullpen again, the Dominicans, and it's going to be Sir Anthony Dominguez, as he will take over here. And that'll be the 6th pitcher used by the Dominicans in this one. Dominguez, of course, was with the Toronto Blue Jays organization last year. So the first pitch from him to Judge is a changeup that is swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1, 85 miles an hour. So no balls and 1 strike. Dominguez making his 4th appearance in the Classic. He's got 3 innings under his belt, and he is yet to allow a run. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 0-2. We're definitely getting into the deep water here between these two clubs. USA were down early 1-0, and the 2 home runs in the 4th have given them the 2-1 lead. It's been a decent ball game tonight in some regards. We've had some defensive plays that have been really good. Bobby Witt Jr. really good at shortstop. J-Rod taking the home run away from Judge. There's a breaking ball that misses well down and away, and the count is 1-2 to the right fielder of the Americans. Our friend CV pumping our tires for us. We appreciate you there, CV. As the pitch on the way here to Judge. Fastball swung on and missed, and he is in the books for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here, and that'll bring up the DH and Kyle Schwarber. And if I know that correctly, I would say that is number 13 for the Dominicans, 13 strikeouts. I'll have to double check that. That is exactly what it is. 13 via the strikeouts so far tonight of the 24 outs. So over half of the American hitters not able to put the ball in play. There's a first pitch fastball that goes all the way to the backstop. It is 1-0. Like that the catcher just whiffed on it. So Austin Wells not able to hang on. Bring Corey Blazer a glove. The home plate umpire could use a little bit extra help back there. Well, Schwarber, 8 for 22 in the Classic, 1 for 2, and he's been hit by a pitch tonight. As the right-hander works himself to the belt. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-1 on Schwarber. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander Dominguez kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses low, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is. Tomorrow night, Italy and Venezuela, same time and same place. Hopefully you guys can join us for that one. And then the World Baseball Classic final goes Tuesday. There's a breaking ball that misses way outside. It's now 3-1 to Schwarber. Looks like Sir Anthony Dominguez doesn't want anything to do with him. I wonder if Schwarber gets on, if they would consider running for him at some point. I don't know if I would do it immediately. Maybe let him get into scoring position first. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and Schwarber is going to be aboard with a base on balls. I would think you have to consider running for him at some point here. And they are going to get a pinch runner. It looks like it's going to be Ernie Clement to come into the ball game to run for Schwarber, the Toronto Blue Jay. So that is the end of the night for the DH. And Clement is coming in to take over the base running duties. High fives all around for Schwarber. So Clement establishes his lead over at first base. Began his career with the Guardians organization, ended up getting released. Oakland picked him up, and then he found a home in Toronto, and he's really excelled there. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Gunnar Henderson. Henderson hit the first of the 2 American homers in the 4th to tie the ball game. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He's grounded out twice and homered. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside, and that's going to run the count even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Teammates over at first base, Clement and Vladdy Guerrero, having a little conversation. As the right-hander delivers, there's a breaking ball taken at the knees for a called strike. That's straightened up Henderson. It's now 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes it is. Clement getting his lead over at first. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down. The count now even at 2-2 to Henderson. Will Smith waiting his turn on deck as the Americans are going to get into the back part of their batting order. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to second. They go to second for 1. Back to first. Did Guerrero hang on? Yes, he did. And that's going to be an inning-ending double play. That is going to go as a 4-6-3 variety. I don't know if they're going to have a look at this or not, but I do believe that they are definitely held on, and he definitely was able to keep it. So 4-6-3 is what it is, and that is going to do it for the Americans here in their half of inning in number 8. Well, they finally got a base runner for the first time since the 5th, but they weren't able to do anything with it. There was no runs, there was no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Move to the bottom of the 8th inning. Your score is USA 2 and Dominican 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this musical timeout. We appreciate you for hanging in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
That's right, everybody. Be sure to check out Matt Hollis after the game, and we will be back in just a few with all the action on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us, everybody. It is going to be Soto, Guerrero, and Machado to come to bat when we return. Welcome back, everybody. We got some changes in the lineup as it is going to be Garrett Whitlock taking over here for David Bednar in the 8th inning. He's going to be facing Juan Soto, Vladdy Guerrero, and Manny Machado. Defensive substitutions as Byron Buxton will be replacing Roman Anthony in left field, but he will move over to center. And Pete Crow Armstrong, who was in center, is going to move over to left. And so Whitlock on in relief here. 2 games in the Classic, 2 innings. He's allowed 1 hit. Has not allowed a run, has struck out 3 and walked none. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Soto. Soto 0 for 3 tonight's grounded into a double play, grounded out, and flown out to right field. It is 3 trips to the plate. 6 for 22 in the Classic, and there's a breaking ball tap foul over on the first base side, and the count goes even to 1-1. We're definitely now in the deep water here as we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. Americans have one more at bat to come, and Dominicans are slowly running out of outs themselves. Here comes a pitch. It's a fastball at the knees, taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-2 to Soto. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called 3rd strike. Soto doesn't like the call, and he's going to let Corey Blazer know. He's not happy with that one, but he's down on strikes for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the first baseman in Vladdy Guerrero Jr. I guess we'll take a look at that one. He might have a beef, Soto, there on that one. I think if we were in MLB spring training, he'd be tapping his hat. And the first pitch to Guerrero Jr. is a fastball that misses down in a very similar place to the pitch that Soto just got banged out on. So maybe Corey Blazer feeling a little bit there. There's a fastball that swung on and missed, and the count goes even to 1-1 on Guerrero. Guerrero tonight is 1 for 3. He's got a double in 3 trips. As the pitch on the way, breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. He has asked for time as he steps out of the batter's box area. He's going to go and have a discussion with himself before he comes back to the plate here. And here comes the pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses down. Goes now to 2-2. Hits have been at a premium tonight since Skeens has left the game. Only 2 hits since Skeens left. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball down in the dirt, and it gets away from the catcher, Smith. He's going to have to track that one down. That's going to run the count now to 3-2 on Vladdy. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. As a reminder, we'll be back on again tomorrow night. So Venezuela, Italy. And then the night after the World Baseball Classic final. So hop in with us when you can. Fastball swung on and fouled away down the right field line. And the count goes to, or stays at 3-2 to Vladdy. Lots of action coming up. We are less than 2 weeks away to the opener in the NPB, so hopefully you guys can join us for some of that. There's a fastball swung on, grounded right back to the pitcher. Fields it does Whitlock, and he is going to flip it underhand to the first baseman, Harper, and that's going to go as a ground out 1-3. Guerrero gone for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring Manny Machado to the plate. So the Dominicans have had their chances. They just haven't been able to punch runners in. As this brings Machado to the dish. Machado 6 for 19. I got a little discussion going on here with Corey Blazer. Tonight, he is 1 for 3, is Machado. And the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses outside. The count goes to 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander ready to deliver again. Kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And the count now goes to 1-1 on Machado. If you would have told me tonight that Junior Caminero would be the only one to produce a run for the Dominicans, I would have not believed you. Breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count goes now to 1-2. With all that firepower in the lineup of Soto, Guerrero, and Machado, they've only been able to come up with 2 hits from those 3 players. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Garrett Whitlock looking to seal the deal here, but now time has been called as Machado has to get the eyes up on the pitcher, and Corey Blazer, the plate umpire, came out to warn the pitcher Whitlock. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball missed down and away, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Machado. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend earlier in the chat, CV, was saying that baseball not getting enough revenue to be able to worth putting it on TV. Breaking ball waved that and missed, and Machado is gone. I'll comment about that when I come back in a minute. But that is going to do it, as the Dominican have retired here in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Your scores, we now move to the top of the 9th inning. It is USA 2 and Dominican 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few minutes with all the calls right after this. Top of the 9th is upon us. We'll be back in just a little bit. It is Smith, Buxton, and Terang slated to come to the plate. We'll be back in a bit. It is a 2-1 game for the United States. We'll be back in just a few. Our good friend Steve Rademacher, check out his fridge when you get a chance. He's got all kinds of weird things in there. We'll be back in just a bit.
Steve here from outside his refrigerator that a lot of you like so much. So let's go inside. There's my hot sauces and other stuff. Let's see what we can do here for Freddie. Awesome game, Freddie. Keep up the good work. We love the baseball. So why don't we rip open Garbage Pail Kids just for you and the listeners. Large Marge, she belongs in the fridge. Liberty Libby, well, she belongs down here on the beer. Apple Corey, he's pretty cool. Put him on that beer up here. And Target Margaret. All Series 3 Chrome Garbage Pail Kids. Freddie, back to you in the game, and everybody else, please enjoy everything he does and tip him nicely.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. In turn, we like to support Steve Rademacher. Check him out after the game. Well, we have a pitching change as Sir Anthony Dominguez's night is done. It is going to be Camilo Duvall, as he is going to be taking over here. Duvall will be, by our counts, the 8th pitcher used tonight by the Dominican. 1-8-1 for the Dominican, 2-7-0 for the United States, as that is where the line score stands at this point. And it is going to be Will Smith to come to bat here to lead it off, as he will be followed by Byron Buxton and Bryce Terang. So Duvall has completed his tune-up tosses. We're ready to go. It's going to be his 3rd appearance of the Classic. He has worked in 2 innings. He has not allowed a run as of yet. Hard-throwing right-hander taking over here, as time has been called, and we've got a time count violation on the pitcher. So right away, he is behind in the count at 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. 9th inning here, top of the 9th, 2-1 USA in the lead, as Duvall, getting the sign from his catcher Wells, works himself into the set position. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes to 2-0. United States got both their runs in the 4th inning. It was a Gunnar Henderson solo shot, and with 1 out, Roman Anthony did the same, and that is where the Americans have stayed with their runs. Home run by Junior Caminero as the only one for the Dominicans. Fastball on the outside corner, taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1 on Smith. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Duvall getting that sign from Wells, works himself into the set. And the 2-1 offering on the way. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count goes to 3-1. Relief pitching has been really good for the Dominicans in this one. Other than the blemish, Soto hit that home run to give the deadlock. He's been the only run that the bullpen's allowed. The Americans, of course, haven't allowed one either. But they haven't had to work as hard as Paul Skeens was able to get into the 5th inning as that fastball swung on and fouled away. It's now 3-2 to Smith. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Duvall ready to go again. Seen a lot of Duvall has Smith that when he was with the San Francisco Giants, there's a fastball taken under the hands for a called 3rd strike. And Smith is in the books. And I believe by our count, that would be number 14 by the Dominicans here. 14 Americans down on strikes. That is going to bring up Byron Buxton. Right now, Casey Stengel, all the famous managers are probably rolling over in their graves. Way too many strikeouts in this one. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down and away to Byron Buxton. This is Buxton's first at bat. As he came in to play center field in the last half inning, he replaced Roman Anthony. Anthony was the second home run in the 4th inning. He sandwiched that by 2 called strike lookings. 0 for 5 in the Classic. But no homers and an RBI. This is Buxton's first appearance as he took that breaking ball down. It's now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Right-hander delivers again. There's a fastball swung on it. It is popped up foul. It's going to reach the seats behind home plate. And the count now goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Mason Miller up and throwing in the American bullpen. So they've got their power arm ready to be unleashed. Again, the right-hander works to the set. Here comes the pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. Another American player not happy with the home plate umpire, Corey Blazer. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I really like the way the demeanor of Blazer. He's able to manage the game. Players seem to like him generally. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted down the right field line. It's going to slice its way into the seats. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Buxton waggling the bat, waiting here on the offering from Duvall. The 2-2 pitch ready to come. He kicks and he fires. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Buxton is gone. Strikeout number 15 recorded by the Dominicans. It's going to leave it all up to the second baseman and Bryce Terang. Well, for Terang, he comes to the plate. He's 0 for 3 tonight. He has struck out twice and grounded into a double play. 7 for 18 in the tournament as the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. Count is quickly 0-1. Had a big year for the Milwaukee Brewers last year, Terang. As the Brewers were one of the bigger surprises in baseball last year. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Terang. Should he get on, it's Pete Crow Armstrong to follow. As the right-hander Duvall kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball down. The appeal over to the third base umpire, but they say he didn't go. Runs the count to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend CV says, did I expand on the TV and baseball? We'll come back to that in a minute. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded softly to first, fielded by Guerrero. He steps on the bag, and that is going to do it. a good memory there, CV. I'll talk about that before the start of the next inning. It's a ground out to 3 to end the inning, and we're going to the bottom of the ninth. It is a 2-1 lead for the Americans. Mason Miller is going to be coming in. Due up for the Dominicans, it is going to be Junior Caminero, Julio Rodriguez, and Austin Wells. Let's see what they bring here as we move to the bottom of the ninth inning. Stick around, everybody. It is a 2-1 score for the USA, and Mason Miller is going to come in to see if he can close it out. We'll be right back in just a couple. Appreciate you for listening in on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Caminero, Rodriguez, and Wells to come to bat. Our friend CV, baseball card collector, had said, we were talking about it earlier, that he had said that Major League Baseball doesn't think that maybe the television, or at least games on TV, are necessarily good, or the Angels were also not talking about televising games. Well, as far as I'm concerned, if you can find somewhere to put curling or women's hockey or, some other type of sports on TV, I'm sure you can find room for baseball. And you got to do a better job of maybe marketing your product or whatever it might be. But that's my 2 cents of the matter. I can give an in-depth comment on that a little bit later. But the first pitch delivered to Caminero is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is quickly 0-1. It is Mason Miller on the hill here for the United States, making his 4th appearance as he's trying to close this baby out. So no balls and 1 strike to Caminero. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on and missed, and now the count goes to 0-2. That last pitch was at 102 miles an hour. So no balls and 2 strikes. Caminero is 7 for 18 in the World Baseball Classic with 3 homers and 7 RBIs. He swings and fouls that pitch away, and the count remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander against the right-hander. As the Dominicans are running out of outs here, the pitch coming from Miller. Fastball on the way. It is in the dirt, and it gets away from the catcher, Will Smith. He's going to have to retrieve it. He throws to first. Caminero tried to get in the way of the throw. Harper not too happy about that. You could see he kind of did a move to run into the throwing lane. Harper sort of showed his disgust. Maybe he didn't say anything, but I'm sure he's going to chalk that up for future. Although I have to say that the base runner is entitled to that spot after the 45-foot stripe. So a strikeout 2-3, but it was kind of chintzy. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0 to Julio Rodriguez. I'm sure Harper will remember that. He's got the mind of an elephant. Won't forget that one. So 1 ball and no strikes to J. Rod as the pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Dominicans running out of outs here. Bottom of the 9th inning as the right-hander Miller ready to deliver. Fastball misses upstairs, and that's going to run the count now to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Dominican supporters are on their feet still. Pitch on the way. Fastball catches the outside corner, probably as high as it would go in the zone. It's now 3-1 to J-Rod. Austin Wells on deck. Geraldo Perdomo in the 9-hole spot, and they've got to try to flip it over to the top of the order if they can. Miller holding at the belt. Here's the pitch to J-Rod. Breaking ball down. Good at bat by Julio Rodriguez as he's going to win it. He's got himself a base on balls. That's going to bring up Austin Wells to the plate. And that's going to bring everybody to the pitcher's mound. They're going to talk it over here. Austin Wells, 1 for 3. But it looks like it's going to be O'Neal Cruz into pinch hit. So very interesting. O'Neal Cruz coming off the bench. He has not seen a lot of action in this classic. So Austin Wells, who doubled in his last at bat, his night is done. But the big fella coming in to hit here. So they are going to talk it all over before they have to start throwing pitches to him. So a little bit of added drama here at the end of the ball game. O'Neal Cruz, big fella. I think he stands at 6'7", if my memory serves me correct. So he will be coming to the dish here. Didn't get a lot of action. He's in the tournament here, but ironically, with not a lot of action, he's batting 1,000. He's got a couple of home runs and he's got 4 RBIs. So he gets the opportunity to pinch hit. He originally came in as a shortstop with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And they had moved him to the outfield. Well, they said he was batting 1,000. Well, that's incorrect. He's actually 3 for 3 in the tournament. So he is batting 1,000. So he's got a couple of homers and 4 RBIs. And the pitch on the way, breaking ball, misses way outside. It gets away from Will Smith, and that's going to move the runner up 90 feet. So they've got the runner now at second base on the wild pitch, or are they going to call it a pass ball? It might be a pass ball. That ball hit the glove. Oh, that's got to be caught. Even though it wasn't the best of pitches, Will Smith got beat. So that's going to put the runner at second base. 1 ball and no strikes to O'Neal Cruz, and the pitch from Miller on the way. Fastball swung through and missed. He wanted to end the game with that swing of the bat. And now that's going to run the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. So Julio Rodriguez, the runner at second. A ball and a strike here to Cruz. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 9th as Miller holds to the set. Here's the pitch. And that's a breaking ball down. Nice stop there that time by Smith. It's going to run the count to 2-1. That ball was destined for the backstop. So we got 2 balls and 1 strike. As Cruz is going to wait on the offering here as the time is up. Gets back into the plate. And the pitch on the way from Miller. Another fastball at 101 swung through and missed. And the count now goes to 2-2. Got to wonder what the hardest recorded pitch in the World Baseball Classic has ever been. Miller, 102 a couple pitches ago, now 101. He is absolutely dealing in the middle of March. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander ready to go again. Rodriguez getting his lead over at second. Keeping him close is Witt. There's a fastball swung on, grounded up the middle. Witt Jr. fields it. He's going to throw to first. Oh, they barely got Cruz. Boy, did he get down the line in a hurry. That's going to be a ground out 6-3. That's going to retire Cruz for the second out of the inning. Advancing over to third is Rodriguez. So the tying run is now 90 feet away. And that is going to bring slated to bring Geraldo Perdomo to the plate. For Perdomo, well, he is officially 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's been hit by a pitch. He's stolen a base. And he's been steady on the defensive side of the ball. Crowd on their feet. The Dominicans are down to their final out. As Miller kicks and delivers. Fastball misses upstairs, and it's ball 1 to Perdomo. For the tournament, he is 3 for 12. Dominicans trying to cash this run in here to send it to extras or maybe walk it off. There's a fastball taken up in the zone for a called strike. The count's 1-1. Again, another pitch that might have been challenged in the ABS system if they were employing that here in the tournament. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Perdomo. Pitch on the way. Fastball center cut for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Perdomo. Now the Dominicans are down to their final strike. Nobody left seated in the stadium. Everybody's on their feet. 1 ball and 2 strikes. J-Rod over at third. Miller gets the sign. Works himself to the belt. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses up and away, and now the count goes to 2-2. Waiting on deck is Fernando Tatis Jr. Perdomo trying to do his job to turn the batting order over. Miller holds at the belt. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball down. It's now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Perdomo. Dominican crowd on their feet, as are the Americans. Here's the pitch. 3-2 on the way. Fastball swung on. Pop foul into the seats just behind the third base dugout. That's going to keep the count at 3-2 on Perdomo. Miller's already thrown 21 pitches here in the 9th inning. Only 12 for strikes. As the right-hander holds to the set, here comes the pitch. On the way, fastball, center cut, swung on and fouled away. And that is going to keep the count again at 3-2 on Perdomo. So Perdomo giving Miller a battle here. The American right-hander gets himself another baseball. He rubs it up and we're ready to go again. Here comes the 3-2 offering. Miller works himself to the set. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball. Take it for a called third strike. Oh, and Perdomo up in arms. And I think the Dominican bench is up in arms. Kind of looks like the San Diego Padres about a year or so ago in the playoffs. Absolutely disgusted on that called third strike. And that is going to do it. As Perdomo down on strikes, and the Americans are going to go on to the World Baseball Classic Finals. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors. There was a runner left aboard, and your score, your final score, is the United States 2 and the Dominicans 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll wrap it up for you in just a couple of moments when we come back. Unbelievable finish. And there's going to be some unhappy campers in that Dominican dugout, I can tell you that. But when you play the Americans in the States and you got an American umpire, you got to beat them. It's like a boxing match. You're going to have to knock them out. We'll be back in just a moment and wrap it up for you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city, San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to wrap this one up for you as we'll call it a night. It's pretty easy. The first run of the ball game was in the second inning. A Junior Caminero home run gave the Dominicans an early 1-0 lead. USA responded with 2 solo shots in the fourth inning. The leadoff home run to start the inning by Gunnar Henderson. And then after Luis Severino was taken out of the game, Roman Anthony took Gregory Soto yard to make the score 2-1, and that is where the game ended. Your final score, USA 2, Dominican 1. And that was how it ended. The tail of the tape, well, good pitching and pretty good defense. And that is what how the night ends here for the Dominicans. Well, once again, we'll be back on the airwaves tomorrow night. It'll be Venezuela and Italy. And then we're going to come back for the final on Tuesday. Hopefully you guys can join us for that one. Once again, your final score, USA 2, Dominican Republic 1. We'll see you guys again tomorrow night. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you then.